let me introduce the panel here too first. Sarah Hall, 3D reporter. How are you, Sarah?
I'm liking where the story's going.
Good to have you here. Julian Andrews, a business strategist. Julian, lovely to have you back.
I'm not wearing a bra. I just want you all to know that.
No. I, on the other hand, am. So anyway, it's just this took me back to the story, and Jim was eager that I tell him this story. So this one woman, well, she wasn't a woman, she was a girl, and I was just a boy. Her name was April. She had an afro. That's quite, isn't it? You can see why I was attracted, because it was like going out with a wild animal, at least in my mind. No, that's fair enough. It's an afro. It was fantastic. I was living on the edge because I was in Bristol, you know, in a council flat, and anyway, it was exciting. So anyway, went out to the movies, and I just had no luck for the entire time. And as I was leaving the movies, I thought these evenings coming to an end, how can I win her over? Because I'd literally spent an entire movie just tampering with her.
Tampering with her bra.
Tampering with the you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yes.
So I thought, and we were passing a Wimpy. You know the Wimpy bars in England? I don't know if they have them here. I thought Wimpy was a good name for a fast food chain. Anyway, all of a sudden I thought I'll win her over with my intellect, my scientific intellect. So I said, do you fancy going in for a drink? She obviously, a drink of Coke, you know. Yeah. She obviously said no because she hated me at this point. It had gone very badly. And I said, no, really, you know, I don't know, I was 13 or something. I said, no. Come into that and I'll buy you a burger. And so anyway, we get a cup of coffee, not coffee, Coke, and I know this magic that happens with salt. You know, have you ever done the salt experiment? And I thought, I'm going to blow her away with this. So she's sitting there in her outfit with the Coke, and I said, of course, you know the chemical reaction when you add salt to Coke. And she said, no. And I thought, I've got her. I've won her over. And I said, have a look at this. And I tipped the salt into her Coke, but the lid came off and it went and right down her.
Oh, no.
And I thought, I think it's time to
Goodbye,
flag it.
April.
Yeah. Goodbye, April. That's exactly what I thought. In fact, I think they may have been the words that I said. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining us. We're going to start by talking about Kiwi Rail. So we had the CEO in, Sarah.
Yes.
It's a very complicated one, as I said to him. It's a very complicated. If you look at it as a business case, it's actually not that different to solid energy.
If you look at it as a business case, they should be getting rid of it. But if you look at it for a social case, for the community, about what it could mean if we have all those extra trucks on the road, you know, I'm lucky I'm not in Treasury.
Because it is a tricky one. And the funny thing is, Treasury must have looked at that when at the end of the day they weighed it up, Julian, and they said, shut it down. Well,
no, I mean, I think the point being that that was one of the options that Treasury presented. So there were a number of options that were being presented, you know, by Treasury and saying, here's the scale, we can go here or we can go there. But I think that, you know, it's undeniable that there are certain government services which are government services because, in fact, they serve a purpose for our culture or for our society. And they don't actually, at the end of the day, have to justify the amount of money that they earn.
Although they should, shouldn't they? Because, I mean, when you come to the situation with something like Kiwi Rail and with solid energy, should it be viewed as a service? Or should it be a standalone enterprise? And if there is a downside to closing it down, such as the roads, then maybe you look at that as a separate issue rather than saying let's prop the roads up with this phenomenal organisation which is a white elephant.
One of the amazing things I think about you know, the pace of change that we're going through at the moment is that not making a decision is the equivalent of making a decision. So really what will happen is the government won't make a decision until it's inevitable. You know, and what we'll be seeing is you know, driverless cars on the road. And I think that from that point of view, it will change the entire model. So,
but everyone's ignoring that. I mean, tell Len Brown about driverless cars. I've tried to. You know, why are we looking at rapid rail? I mean, driverless cars overnight will solve that problem.
I was listening to a lecturer from the Singularity University came to AUT a couple of weeks ago. It's called the Singularity University. So that's in Silicon Valley, and, you know, and again, a very glamorous name. But one of the things he was saying is he says he has a 4-year-old son. That boy will never learn to drive a car.
Right. Yeah, it's coming, and it's coming quickly. We all know that. But
and I think perfect opportunity again for the other topic today was around the whole rental cars and foreigners. Well, we'll be able to swap sides of the road immediately if in fact nobody actually drives themselves.
Absolutely. But between now and then, there are many rental car drivers who are going to cause us problems. Do you imagine? I mean, this new code of conduct that they've introduced, Sarah. Do you think it will make a difference?
Mamby-pamby, isn't it? Really?
Well, it is a bit.
You know, Look, I think that one of the ways of solving it is doing the arrow facing in the way that you're going every couple of 100 metres down the road.
Just on the roads. Forget the cars. Do it on the roads.
Yeah, so that they know. I mean,
and there's no cost whatsoever associated with that. So is there? No. I mean, here we are. We're saying, Kiwi Rail, $200 million. No, that's too much.
New Zealanders.
Yeah, but again, I mean, so there's one of those unique and ridiculous jobs that you were talking about earlier. What's your job? My job is to actually paint the arrows on the road all the way along the road.
Sure.
Well, it's a solution, though, that just might work.
It's a solution. You're right. It's not
all right, Sarah Hall, Julian Andrews with us. We will be back with the panel in just a moment. Welcome back. Our panel this morning, Julian Andrews and Sarah Hall join us, thanks to our partners AMP. Right, the flags. So 40 flags are out. Sarah, there's no reason for putting them out. We have no say in these 40.
There's too many, aren't there? I'm completely confused. And I particularly hate the green.
The solid green with a white silver fern.
However, I'm in favour of changing the flag. I'm just going to put that out there.
Oh, well, enough said.
Moving on.
Julian.
I mean, I think it's really interesting that you hate the green one because, when you're doing a business case and you've got to present to the client, which ultimately is what this is, the purpose of this, we're going down from 40, this is getting some attention, we're going down to 4, and then the public get to vote on the 4. So if the public is a client, when you're presenting 4, there is always one that's going to be crap.
So
that's
one of
how
them,
you do it. One of them is the deliberately really awful one, which makes people go...
That could be any one of these then.
Anything but that.
Yeah. And because you want them to vote. They want the interest. They want the people to kind of get that. So that in fact, the one that we picked that goes up against the the flag, and Paul, whether you like it or not, you've got a vested interest if you want to keep the existing flag.
I would like them all to be absolutely appalling. The interesting thing here, if there is anything interesting at this at all, is you've got 3 themes in all of them. You've got the Southern Cross, you've got the koru, and you've got the fern.
Yes.
And I'm really surprised that a Kiwi didn't make it. You would, and talking this morning to John Burrows, he said that there were quite a few Kiwi themes that came through. His argument was the Kiwi is just not an attractive bird.
That doesn't work for me, and I was looking because
it doesn't work for me either.
I went, okay, well, listen, there must be some animals, and you look at the Welsh dragon as a really good example of an incredibly vibrant flag. Well, no, but I mean, it kind of represents the personality.
Yeah,
and you're flicking through the internet, and you're seeing Kiwis say this about it, Kiwis say that about it, and you're looking at the word Kiwis, and you're just thinking, how come there are no Kiwis?
There also is some heritage as well with Kiwi, because if you have a look at the armed forces, they have had Kiwis on their flags for umpteen years.
And I think that if you want people to actually vote, you've got stuff in there that they're going to vote about. But it would have been a perfect opportunity to put a Kiwi in there.
Yeah, it would. All right, very quickly, we're almost out of time.
Yes.
Nando's, the story that's out, Nando's in, I think, West Auckland. Someone goes in with their children to quiet one of the children down. They give them some sushi. They sit down eating the sushi while they go and order and are told off because only food served on the premises can be eaten on the premises. Sarah?
Well, we all know the rules. Sorry, parents, we know the rules. You don't take food into another restaurant.
But again, from a business case point of view, it doesn't make sense.
I love it. It is a rule, and we do know those rules.
You've got, a family of 4 goes in there. 3 of them are going to eat Nando's, and just because one of them is eating sushi, why would you turn away 3 meals?
3 customers. Yeah. The thing is, I want to know how it ended up in the papers. I mean, did the parents then?
Because that's what you do nowadays.
What about that video, that Auckland Rugby Union video that we just saw? What on earth did that person just so happen to be filming the referee when the guy comes along and
because everyone films everything now, Julian. That's why. See these cameras around here? Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Julian Andrews and Sarah Hall, thank you for coming in this morning. We will have you back again.